We just got back yesterday after 3 days away. So we went away on the Monday and came back on the Friday. And everything was really dry last night. But it's all looking a lot better after a drink. I'm really loving this one. It is called Zimbabwe Black. And it's full of these little black chilies. And the stems on the plant too just look so stunning. And I really like the flavor of the chilies too. It's not too hot, but just really flavorsome. As much as I like really hot chilies, I especially like ones that just have a really good flavor, surprisingly. Let's go and see how other things are doing. What I did is, for the ones that I thought would get really thirsty really fast, I filled up these plastic bottles, which I just reuse every time we go away for a little while. And I poked a hole in the side over here. Let me find the hole. It's a really tiny hole I just knocked into the side of the bottle, if you can see it. And then there's also one over here, which is more visible, just to make sure that all the water would run out. And the thing is, the water ran out a lot faster than I wanted. So after the first day, there wasn't any extra water there. I was hoping it would sort of really slowly seep through and slowly water the plant and keep it hydrated. So it didn't really work as I wanted. Another thing I did was I just really filled up these trays with water. And this tray was actually empty by the time I came back. I also gave this one a whole big bottle, this 1.5 liters of water. And it was only sort of 3 days where they didn't get any water from me and there wasn't any rain either. It was actually meant to be a bit of a heat wave, but luckily, I guess, it wasn't that hot in the end. So the plants didn't suffer as much as they could have done. But I need to figure something out, because that was sort of like a test run almost. It was our little mini break, and then we have a week we're going away in another week's time, and I'm just gonna try to figure out what to do. Some of the plants, the ones that I think did best, like that beautiful black chili, were ones that I put in a bucket of water and just really put lots of water in there. And I'm thinking I need to try to do that with more of them. I just don't really have enough buckets, or big enough buckets either. This one here, my tomatillo, it got really dried out. As you can see, it's still dry down there. And also the birds keep on coming and emptying out all the compost. You can see this like really big crater down there. I don't really know where the compost goes. I think it might just go on the ground really, so it's not really doing anything any good. And while I'm away, it won't help the plant if it keeps losing all the compost. So I think I might refill it for the 4th time. And this time I'll sprinkle some cinnamon on the top. That keeps birds away. It does not hurt them. I don't want to hurt my garden birds. I absolutely love them. But it will just deter them from getting into that pot and emptying it out. So that's probably a good idea. Over here we have some of the citrus trees, and I left them here. And they did get really dry. They were completely dry by the time I came back. So I won't leave them here next time when we go away for even longer. Here's my lovely rainbow orange. It got very dry too. But I had a nice little sort of shaded spot under the shade of the buddleia. It's getting dry itself. But there's a good little shaded spot underneath it where I can keep things from getting too dry and too hot. And that is where I happened to put my kumquat over here. Let's go to my kumquat. Here he is. I put him in a very good shaded spot so that he wouldn't dry out, because he's full of lovely flower buds that are now opening, and they're so beautiful, and I've been so looking forward to kumquats. I love kumquats. So leaving him in a more shaded spot was good. And then when I came home, I brought him back out into the nice sunshine, and I've given all my citrus trees a great big feed, because they need weekly feeds now that we're in the summer months. And the one I'm most happy about, the plants I'm most happy about, that actually did really well without water, are these tomatoes, because they are in the greenhouse, so they get really hot, and it would be such a shame for them to dry up, and they can also get like sort of diseases and things if they have irregular watering. But so far so good. I gave them each a bottle, each of the little bags a bottle. And we have two kinds of tomatoes in here. We have some regular cherry tomatoes that I grew from squeezing a cherry tomato from the supermarket into a compost, and all those seeds germinated and got lots of cherry tomato plants. And then I also got myself some of these yellow ones. They're called Yellow Submarine. So they got a bit of a funny shape to them, and they're really delicious, and I just thought it'd be so much fun to have them because I've tried them before and I really love them. So they're also starting to ripen up now. They're slightly larger than the cherry tomatoes, but yeah, they did really well without me coming or watering them. They each had their own little bottle, and that seems to be enough. And I've given them lots of water since I came home, and I'm going to give them a seaweed feed as well later on today, I believe. So that was a relief that nothing happened, but I emptied everything else that I could. I just can't get these bags out. You see they're growing in those bags there? Yeah. Couldn't move those. Not very practical. And we also have like bunches of little plants in pots and flowering things, and because they're all grouped together, I think it helps them from getting too dried out. The wind doesn't get to them as much as they would. And I'm just loving these cosmos this year. I've grown lots of different ones from seed. There's some doubles, seashell doubles. They're so pretty. And they really complement the Eyes for You bush rose I have over here, the Floribunda. It's flowering again for the second or third time now, and it's just so stunning. It has a wonderful scent. It's really good for making lemonade, rose lemonade, or even rose jam. I've done that too, because it has a wonderful scent and flavor. But I tend to pick these cosmos because they're like pick and come again. Perfect for that anyhow. And so I need to come and pick a bunch because I haven't been here. And if I stopped picking them, I think they might stop flowering. It should be a shame. And further on we have another little bunch of plants. I like putting them in bunches. We have lots of chilies and some more tomatoes. I need to actually make myself some fermented chili paste with these guys here. This is a basket of fire. Look at it, isn't it stunning? I just love the colors, so beautiful. And then this is my goji berry, and oh my goodness, I'm so excited because I've just spotted the first goji berry on it. Beginnings of the first goji berry. See, it's right down there. So it didn't seem to get too wet, and actually they're quite drought resistant, so I'm not too worried about this one. It's got so many flower buds on it. This is absolutely amazing. It's doing so well. It actually really reminds me of a caper plant, the ones that produce caper berries, or capers. What a pretty little thing. I think the caper flowers are prettier than these ones, but these ones are really cute too. Goji berries. Oh, this is such a happy sight. Honestly, I waited for so many years for my plant to produce flowers until I finally got this plant this year. Yeah, so they all did okay. So it's just a few of the plants that I really need to find other ways to keep them watered. So if you have any really good suggestions on how you water your plants while you're away on holiday, please do let me know. I would love to know what I could do. I'm going to look up ideas and see if I can find some really useful ones. I have done it before, but it's always a worry. It's always a shame to leave plants, and you kind of say goodbye to a few of them when you go for a longer spell. We're only gone for a week this time, so it's not as much as we used to. We used to go for like 2 weeks at a time and things, and then we'd have to get people in to water, but it's almost the amount of time where you can maybe leave the plants and get away with it, especially if we get rainfalls. But it's just we haven't had much of that at all this year, so can't rely on that, even though we are in England. I'll just show you a few more things. Look at this guy. Oh, that is one big happy bumblebee. He's completely full of pollen. Oh my goodness, he is feasting. I just love seeing pollinators just having a field day in the flowers. And I love these sunflowers too. They're kind of small, but they are so well visited by the bees. That was one big, oh, and now he's gone over to the tomatillos. Look at him. Just follow him around. Oh, he's a lovely guy, isn't he? And as you can see here, the beautiful red apples. There's one rotten one there. Let's get rid of him. These are called Red Devil, and they are just so big, but they're not going to be ripe for another month or two. So they all did okay. I mean, everything was just so good at staying alive despite me leaving them alone. And look, we've got our first ones here. Oh, just down here. Look at this little guy. Our first one flowered. So beautiful. They're Tricertis or toad lilies, and I just think they look so much like orchids. But they do come back year after year, so they're full of little flower buds here. And these ones are kept in the shade of the apple tree. So they're very happy here, and they're looking so lovely. I love them. They're so fun. Also known as Japanese toad lilies. Got lots of flower buds on those. And I must say that this nectarine tree, he got really thirsty, but I've given him a few drinks now, and he's still super dry in that little pot. So I think I might need to give him another bit of a big bottle of water just to let him really get soaking that up. Everything was so dry. That's the thing, this time of year. And here we have my finger lime, my Australian finger lime. Can you see how big he is? He's just so ginormous. I pruned him just before bringing him out. He has not flowered this year, so keep looking to see if there's any flower buds, but I guess he might flower when I bring him back inside, I guess. I don't know. I give all the citrus trees a great big water with lots of food as well this morning, because they would do their weekly feed. During the summer, I always water them weekly. But yeah, everything did fine. So I am feeling more confident about leaving them for a week. Just gonna find ways to give them some extra water, that's all. If you have any good ideas about how to water them, sort of with a drip feed or something, I would love to hear them. I'm going to be looking up drip feeding plants and what to do when you're away, just for any ideas of just how to give them a little bit extra, a little bit of help. Got some more lovely guys here, which are going to be blooming very soon. Big sunflowers, little sunflowers even. These guys were super thirsty because they're in such shallow little containers. They really, really dried out. So I might need to give them some water, I think, for sure. But as you can see, they perked right up. I watered them yesterday and they were just completely drooping. I didn't video how they looked. They're very, very droopy, and they are all back to full happiness now again. This is the basil mint. Look how big he is. And it really is such a wonderful herb too. I definitely recommend this one. So everything's doing well, but please, if you have any ideas of how to keep things alive while I'm away, I would love to hear from you. I also just didn't give these guys much help at all. These are my two poor pineapple guavas, and I really, really need to put them into the ground. That is my next thing. I'm going to put these guys into the ground before we go away. And before we go, here is my Szechuan pepper, full of wonderful peppercorns, and lots of them are just ripe for the picking. It's all the way up there, just absolutely crammed full of lovely, peppery, sweet, mouth-numbing peppercorns. Such a delight. They're really quite big too. Look at some of them. He's also a part of the citrus family, so he was in on the citrus feeding action today. Lucky him. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.